We are live here at Pioneer High School, where it is Pioneer men's JV basketball taking on Bedford, and with the opening tip. And Billick trying to take it there, fired over by Dunlop, pulled down by Bedford. Bedford heads the other direction as Varner has it. Varner over midfield. Varner being watched over there by Dunlop. Varner coming over to the block ace, feeds it over onto the far side, over to Armour. Armour on the far sideline, now top of the key, over to Billick. Billick over on the near wing, trying to bring it in as Varner into the near corner. Three-pointer off the back of the rim. And pulled down, there's a three-point shot. And off the back of the rim by Varner. Chased down, Varner has it down the baseline, trying to put it in. There is a foul. So Shanto going to the line.
Foul is on number 23.
Kucinich picks up the foul. To the line shooting two is Shanto. Shanto, first one is up and good. Shanto has the first points of the game. Next one coming for Shanto. That one up off the back of the rim, but that's pulled down by Armour. Now back to the top of the key, into the paint. That flipped over by Billick. Now coming down the far side is Armour, up off the glass, off the front of the rim, pulled down, up and rolled around, still wouldn't go. That brought up and fired as Steele puts it in, and he'll pick up the foul. So 2 points for Steele.
Foul is going to be on number 4. Gabe Seinfeld-Chop.
Seinfeld-Chop picked up the foul. That his first. Steele trying to make it a three-point play here. That ball up and good. Steele now has 3 points. As coming the other direction, here comes Pioneer. On the far sideline is Dunlop. Dunlop over, and that out the near sideline.
Ball goes to Bedford.
So that will be Bedford's ball as they'll inbound. Bringing it ahead is Armour. Armour coming ahead is he'll go down. Tripped up by Seinfeld-Chop. That will be his second foul of the game.
Foul is on
Bedford will inbound.
4. Gabe Seinfeld-Chop.
So Steele inbounds, gets it back, coming down the near side. Steele on the near wing. Bounce pass, top of the key. Now over onto the far wing. Underneath, trying to bring it up and in is Shanto. That knocked away. That is going to be Pioneer's ball. 6:43 left to go, 4-0. As Bedford has the lead, Pioneer inbounds. Bringing that ahead is Seinfeld-Chop. Seinfeld-Chop over mid-court. Seinfeld-Chop comes up top of the key. Over onto the near wing is Ryan. Now trying to bring it ahead. As that's trying to get it over as Dunlop. Up into the paint, off the back of the rim and in. As Seinfeld-Chop. So Seinfeld-Chop gets his first points of the game, stolen away by Pioneer. That ball over onto the near wing, picked up there by Billick. Billick down the near wing, gets it over to Varner. Varner sends it top of the key over to Armour. Armour, three-point shot off the back of the rim, pulled down, coming the other direction. Here comes Pioneer, bringing it in is Hayes. Hayes puts it up, rolls off the front of the rim. Rebound by Steele. Heading the other direction is Armour for Bedford. Armour on the near side of the paint. Shot from the near corner, that off the back of the rim by Shanto. Picked up in that rebound by Bedford. Fired by Billick over into the far corner. That put back up by Armour and in. Armour with his first points of the game, and it's 6-0 Bedford over Pioneer. As that quickly put up by Hayes off the rim or off the backboard, coming up the other direction. Here comes Armour. Armour has it for Bedford on the near wing. Being watched by Seinfeld-Chop. Armour into the near corner for Billick. Billick comes to the near wing. Billick trying to work against Hayes. Sends it top of the key, and there is a foul. Shanto got it top of the key.
Foul is on number 35.
think that one was on Hayes. As that's sent ahead, coming up. Here comes Pioneer into the near corner. Trying to bring it in. That kicked out to the top of the key. Free three-pointer shot and good. That fired in by number 35. Effort to try and get his name. Armour right at midcourt. Armour comes, that tipped away. Seinfeld chop trying to go the other direction for Pioneer. Over midcourt. Seinfeld chop. Top of the key. Dishes it off into the far corner for Scott. That put up off the rim. No good, but a foul with 4:36 left to go here in the first.
Foul is on number 22.
So that's going to be Armour picking up his first foul. 4 on Pioneer. One more, and Bedford is shooting free throws. 1 on Bedford.
Ball goes to Pioneer.
So Pioneer will inbound. Baseline left is Dunlop to inbound. That ball over onto the far wing to Scott, now into the near corner. That put up by Dunlop, three-pointer off the rim, pulled down by Bedford. Now Bedford sets things up. Armour heading the other direction for the kicking Mules. Trying to watch him is Page. Armour down the far sideline, and that is going to be a foul on Page, and that is going to be the 5th foul. That is going to put Armour to the line, shooting 2. Armour toes the line. Up and in. Armour has 3 points. That makes it 7-5. Bedford with the lead. Trying to make it a 3-point lead is Armour. Toes the line, dribbles, eyes the rim, puts it up and puts it in. 4 points for Armour, 8 points for Bedford. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. They're down by 3. Trying to bring it in is Scott. Scott pulled away by Armour the other direction. As that tossed all the way across the court over to Varner. Varner coming down in underneath puts it up to Billick underneath, and Billick puts it up and in. So that makes it 10-5. Billick with his first points of the game. Seinfeld Chop has it in the front court. Gets it over to Page. Page on the near wing. Page gets it over to Scott. Scott back over on the near wing to Page. Page gets it to Seinfeld Chop. Just inside the block ace. Seinfeld Chop trying to put it into the paint. That knocked away. Coming the other direction. Here comes Armour for Bedford. Into the paint. Puts up a floater and in. Armour has 6 points, and now it's 12-5. 7-point lead for Bedford. 3:25 left to go here in the first. As Page has it now into the near corner for Dunlop. Dunlop works his way around the arc. Dunlop on the near wing. Stops, puts up a three-pointer off the front of the rim. I think Bedford might have got a piece of it. Coming the other direction, Shanto for Bedford. Shanto, bounce pass. That's a three-pointer off the back of the rim there for Steele. Whistle underneath. That's going to be Pioneer's ball. Looks like that was on Shanto, I believe. We'll see. Pollock in. So he will inbound baseline right. Here comes Dunlop. Dunlop brings ahead for Pioneer. Down by 7. Dunlop. Bounce pass, that tipped away, headed the other direction is Steele. Steele trying to move it over to Varner. Varner dishes it off underneath, that back over to Armour. Armour on the far wing, spins into the paint, puts it up off glass, rolls off the front of the rim, but Armour gets his own rebound and puts it in as he has 8 points. Pioneer quickly the other direction, 14-5. Bedford with the lead, 2:36 left to go. Foul underneath as Page was driving the lane. That's going to be on our 23. That'd be Billick. So Billick picks up the foul. 2:36 left to go here in the first. 14-5. Page at the line. Trying to get it down to a 7-point lead. First one up by Page off the back of the rim, would not go. Ryan comes in for Bedford. Back in for Pioneer is Hayes. Page one more from the line. Page bends the knees, puts it up. That off the side of the rim, falls off to the far side. Rebound by Billick. Battle for it underneath. Pollock trying to knock it away. That grab by Atkins, Drew Atkins, coming over onto the near wing. That put up by Billick, rolls off the front of the rim. Pollock with the rebound for Pioneer. Quickly ahead to Scott. Scott puts it up, off glass and in, or excuse me, Hayes. Hayes gets his first points of the game, and it's 14-7, 7-point lead for Bedford. Quick shot from the far side. That is up and in by Drew Atkins. He has his first points of the game, 16-7 with 2:02 left to go. As Hayes, top of the key, now moves it over to Page on the far wing. Page pointing out signals. Page over onto the near wing. Hayes to the free throw line, puts it up off the back of the rim. Armour pulls it down. Armour heading the other direction for Bedford. Armour into the side of the paint, puts it up off glass. Little too strong the other side, but Armour gets the rebound. Stepped out of bounds. That should be Pioneer ball, I believe. No, it's going to be Bedford ball. Inbounding is going to be Varner. 1:40 left to go. That ball tipped out onto the near wing. Trying to shake free was Ryan. Now on the near wing is Drew Atkins. Hands it off to Billick in the near corner. Billick, double team. Sends it top of the key. That pulled Varner down the paint. And off the back of the rim, tipped over as Armour gets the rebound. Fired off the side of the rim, pulled down as that's Dunlop the other direction. Quickly to Page. Page puts it up off the glass and in. Page has his first points of the game, 16-9. Bedford with the lead with 1:07 left to go here in the first. Armour bringing it ahead. All the way down. Billick puts it up, rolls off the front of the rim. Pollock trying to get to it, picked up by Page. Page quickly over to Hayes. Hayes into the paint. Finger roll up and in. Hayes has 4 points, and it's 16-11, 5-point lead for Bedford. Billick quickly the other direction. Gets it over to Varner on the side of the paint. That falls off to the far side. Picked up. Here comes Dunlop the other direction. Quickly to Hayes. Hayes underneath the basket. Off the glass and in. Hayes has 6 points, and it's now a 3-point game. 28 seconds left to go here in the first. Full court pressure. Armour in the backfield. He's going to end up fouled. 24.5 seconds left to go. Pollock picks up the foul. Again, Pioneer has committed more than 5 fouls in the quarter, so that's going to put Armour to the line. Armour toes the line. First one is up and good. That makes it a 4-point lead. He has 9 points, trying to be the first to double digits in this game. 17-13. One more shot coming for Armour. Armour dribbles the ball. Eyes the rim, puts it up. Puts it in. He has 10 points, and that makes it 17-13. 5-point lead for Bedford. Hayes to inbound, baseline right. Hayes gets it over to Page. Page bringing ahead with 22 seconds left to go in the first. Page comes over midcourt. Page picked up back over there by Ryan. Page over onto the far sideline, trying to send it underneath. Bedford tipped it. That is going to stay Pioneer ball with 13.2 seconds left to go. Pioneer trying to get this back down to a 3-point game. 2-point if they can hit a 3-pointer. Now Hayes gets it over to Pollock. Pollock on the near wing. Into the near corner to Dunlop. Dunlop puts up a 3-pointer. Dunlop, that off the near side of the rim. Dunlop gets it back. Now throws it inbounds. That quickly ahead. Here comes Shanto, and that will do it for the first. At the end of the first period, it is 18-13. So that's a 5-point lead for Bedford. Let's play a little bit of the MHSAA.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the specialized sports parent support group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Bedford will inbound right in front of us as we begin the second quarter. 18-13, Bedford with the lead, 8 minutes up on the clock here at Pioneer High School. Drew Atkins inbounds that over to Birmingham. Birmingham over midcourt, bounces it to the free throw line and a whistle. That is going to be a foul on Hayes. That is going to be his second foul of the game, first foul of the quarter. His fouls reset at the quarter. Inbounding it is Ryan. Ryan gets it into Shanto. Shanto in the near corner. Shanto trying to bring it across. Is that tipped out of bounds by Pioneer? That is going to be Bedford ball. Drew Atkins will inbound into the near corner. Drew Atkins gets it into Shanto. Shanto up with the three-pointer off the back of the rim. That pulled down on the far side by Ryan. Trying to get it inbound. It was Page trying to save it. Is tipped that away, but out of bounds. That is going to be Bedford ball. As Thielen inbounds. Ryan has it on the far sideline. Bounce pass over as that's on the court. Trying to pick that up is Smith. Now quickly the other direction. Dunlop has it in the near corner for Pioneer. Dunlop works his way around the arc. Dunlop comes back to the PM Pioneer right on the block. Hayes. Dunlop gets a screen. Comes over onto the near side. That over to Hayes. Hayes puts it up off the front of the rim. Pulled down by Drew Atkins. Quickly the other direction for Bedford. Drew Atkins into the paint. Puts it up with the right hand. Won't go, but a whistle blown. That'll be a foul. That is going to be a foul on Smith. That is his first foul. Second on Pioneer this quarter. Drew Atkins to the line. He has 2 points, trying to make it 4, trying to expand this lead. First one is up and good for Drew Atkins. That gives him 3 points. 19-13 is the lead. Drew Atkins with an opportunity to make it a 7-point lead for Bedford. One more basket coming for Atkins. Drew Atkins toes the line. Bends the knees, puts it up off the back of the rim and rims out. That pulled down by Hayes. Coming the other direction is Page. Page over midfield. Page on the far sideline to Dunlop. Dunlop over to Hayes, top of the key. Hayes over on the near wing to Pollock. Pollock trying to come down now into the near corner. That's Page up off the glass. Wouldn't go. Pulled down as Chase Atkins has it. Bounce pass over midfield. Chase Atkins coming down the far wing for Bedford. Hands that off over to Birmingham. Birmingham back at the midcourt stripe. Moves it over to Shanto. Shanto, top of the key, now over on the near wing for Tien. Into the paint. That put up and rolls off the rim. Shanto gets the rebound. That won't go. Hit the front, the back of the rim. Pollock with the rebound. Pollock gets it ahead. That intercepted by Bedford as that put up by Shanto. He'll be fouled. Jump ball. So jump ball possession arrow is going Pioneer's way. 6:20 left to go here in the second. 19-13. 6-point lead by Bedford. Smith inbound, baseline right. Gets it to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop moves it ahead for Pioneer over midcourt. Seinfeld Chop being watched over there by Thielen. Pass, trying to get that pass over to Kucinich. Now trying to pull it over. Dunlop has it on the far sideline. Over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop. Over to Dunlop on the near wing. Dunlop for three. That just to the far side of the rim goes out of bounds. 5:55 left to go. 19-13, Bedford with the lead. Bedford will inbound, baseline left. Armour to bring it in. As Armour brings it ahead, Armour over onto the near wing, that to Birmingham. Birmingham into the top of the paint. Drew Atkins underneath, that stolen away by Pioneer. Here comes Dunlop over midfield, or at center court. Over to Page. Page in the paint trying to put it up. He is fouled. There's a whistle. That's going to be Drew Atkins picks up the foul. That is the first for Bedford in this period. Page to the line, shooting two, trying to get it to a 4-point game. First one rims out for him. Hayes and Smith back. Page, one more shot coming. Up, rolling around and in. Page has 3 points, and it's 19-14, 5-point lead for Bedford. Armour brings it ahead for Bedford. Full court pressure by Pioneer as Page trying to make it difficult on Armour. That moved ahead to Birmingham. Birmingham, top of the key, over into the far corner. Trying to work his way down there. As that picked up by Pioneer, it was Drew Atkins. That pass tipped away. Seinfeld Chop has it. Back towards midcourt. Seinfeld Chop gets a screen. Coming along the far side. Screen from Smith. That taken away. Here comes Bedford the other direction. Armour has it. Armour down the near side of the paint. Over to Birmingham for three. Birmingham hits the three-pointer. And a foul. So Birmingham has three. That is going to make it 22-14. That is Seinfeld Chop picking up his third foul of the game. Third foul on Pioneer this quarter. Birmingham trying to make it a 4-point play. Trying to make it a 9-point lead for Bedford. Birmingham toes the line, eyes the rim, dribbles, puts it up. Nothing but net on that one. Birmingham with 4 points, and it's 23-14 now. Bedford with the lead. So Pioneer will inbound baseline right. Hayes with it there. Hayes inbounds to Dunlop with 5 minutes left to go before halftime. Dunlop over midfield, center court. As that ball back. Top of the key over for Scott. Now over on the far wing. Dunlop has it. Dunlop over to Seinfeld Chop. Now over onto the near wing for Hayes. Hayes dribbles to his right. Hayes gets a screen over to Seinfeld Chop on the far wing. Seinfeld Chop comes top of the key. Dishes over to Dunlop on the far wing. Dunlop comes to the free throw line down the far side of the paint. Up and in. Dunlop with his first points of the game. That makes it 23-16. Armour the other direction for Bedford with 4:25 left to go here before halftime. Armour on the near wing. Armour comes top of the key, steps back, puts up a three-pointer. That high off the rim, pulled down by Hayes the other direction for Pioneer. Hayes, that tipped away from Dunlop, but grabbed by Seinfeld Chop underneath. That put up, as that was Scott who fired it in. Off the rim, wouldn't go, but that's going to be a foul. 23, that's going to be Billick. That's Billick's second foul. Scott to the line to shoot two. 7-point lead for Bedford. Scott. First free throw is up and good for Scott. That's his first point of the game. Trying to get his second point right here. He can take it back to a 5-point lead for Bedford. So Scott at the line gets the ball, dribbles, eyes the rim, bends the knees, puts it up. Off the back of the rim, pulled down by Bedford, 23-17. Bedford with the lead with 4:04 left to go. Brought ahead by Varner. Varner has it top of the key. That moved over to Chase Atkins. Now Armour has it just inside the blockades. Over to Birmingham. Birmingham on the far wing. Birmingham hands it off to Armour. Armour. Pressure coming by Page. Armour just inside the blockades. Armour moves it over onto the far wing. As that's Varner with it. Varner on the far sideline, just in front of the Pioneer bench. Hands it off to Birmingham. Birmingham. Pressure on him. Fires it all the way onto the near wing. Now into the far corner. That for Varner. Comes up the baseline. Pulled down by Billick. Billick is fouled going back up with the ball. 3:27 left to go. That's going to be the fourth foul on Pioneer.
Foul is on number 24, Uriah Hayes.
Hayes picks up his third foul. So both Seinfeld, Chop, and Hayes both have three fouls. At the line is Billick. First one is up off the glass and good for Billick. He has 3 points. Trying to make it an even 25, quarter of a century here for Bedford. Next one is up off the back of the rim, front of the rim, and good. So now Billick has 4 points, and it's 25-17. Pioneer down by 8. They take the ball. Inbounded. Baseline right. As that was Hayes who inbounds it over to Dunlop. Dunlop over midcourt. Dunlop coming down the far wing. Dunlop underneath to Hayes. Hayes puts it up and in. Hayes has 8 points, and it's 25-19 with 3:12 left to go. Bedford brings the ball ahead. As coming down with it is Chase Atkins. That off the rim, but put back up and in. That was Shanto as he has 3 points. Pioneer quickly the other direction for Page. Page trying to put it up, but he's fouled with 2:57 left to go here in the second. 27-19.
Foul is on number 21, Dylan Shanto.
Shanto picks up his second foul.
Harris Page.
Pioneer has 4 fouls in this quarter, 3 fouls on Bedford. Page at the line. First one is up and rattles off the front, the back of the rim, and wouldn't go for Page. He has one more coming to try and make it 20 points for Pioneer. Page, second one coming. That one off the back of the rim falls out, wouldn't go. That picked up by Drew Chase, now ahead to Varner. Varner steps back on the near wing, over to Armour, top of the key, back to Varner on the near wing. Varner hands it off over to Tien. Tien has that blocked. Out of bounds. That's going to stay Bedford ball with 2:41 left to go here in the second. 27-19, Bedford with the lead. Bedford inbound as Drew Atkins inbounds it, trying to put it up. It's up and in by Shanto. Shanto has 5 points, and it's 29-19. Pioneer down by 10. They have it in the front court. Dunlop gets it over. Hayes puts up a three-pointer off the glass, off the rim, wouldn't go. Armour gets tied up with Page. That's going to be a jump ball, possession or pointing Bedford's way. So with 2:22 left to go before halftime, Bedford with the ball in the 10-point lead. Inbounded by Thielen. Coming ahead is Armour. Armour on the near wing. Armour down the near side of the paint, off the glass, rolled off the front of the rim, trying to put it back up. As that was up and in by Chase Atkins, or Drew Atkins, excuse me. So Drew Atkins has 5 points, and it's 31-19 with 2:05 left to go before halftime. Dunlop brings it over midcourt. Dunlop for Pioneer, over onto the far wing, gets it to Page. Page gets it down, now trying to bring it in. 35 off the rim, couldn't pull it down. Back over Dunlop for 3 on the near wing. Dunlop hits that three-pointer, and that makes it 5 points for him. 31-22. Bedford with the lead. Here comes Drew Atkins into the paint. Off the glass and in. As that counts, that's going to be 7 points for Atkins. opportunity to make it 8 points.
Fouls number 50. Shooting at the line number 15. Drew Atkins, there is a foul at Pioneer.
Couldn't tell who the foul was there, so we'll rattles out and grabs. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. Seinfeld Chop has it 33-22. Bedford with the lead. Seinfeld Chop for Pioneer into the near corner for Dunlop. Dunlop coming down the paint, trying to put it up. Ball pulled down by Bedford as Varner trying to move it ahead. Here comes Drew Atkins. Drew Atkins into the near corner. That put up by Birmingham. Out. Or excuse me, that was Thielen.
Out of bounds. To Pioneer.
So Scott will inbound baseline right for Pioneer. Pioneer down by 11 points with 1:14 left to go here in the first half. Dunlop down the far side of the court over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop on the far wing. Seinfeld Chop into the paint. Dishes it off. There is a shot by 35 pulled down on the far wing. Trying to rattle around and in, and that was Kasenich with the points as he puts that in. That's his first points of the game. Stolen away and put up off the glass. Wouldn't go for the finger roll. That is going to be a jump ball as that is pointing Pioneer's way. So Dunlop bounces it into 35. Now over to Scott. Scott gets it over to Seinfeld Chop, top of the key. Back over to Scott on the near wing. Scott trying to work his way, dishes it back to Dunlop. Dunlop out towards midcourt. Dunlop pressure back over there by Ryan. Dunlop comes to the near elbow, trying to put it up. That off the rim, falls off to the near side, but a foul. That is going to be on number 11, Ryan, as the fourth foul on Bedford in this quarter. One more and Pioneer will be shooting as that over to Seinfeld Chop on the near wing. Back over to Kasenich. Kasenich puts it up. That off the glass over onto the near side. Here comes Bedford the other direction. Shanto into the paint. Knocked away. Out of bounds. That is going to remain Bedford ball with 14.8 seconds left to go. Bedford inbound, baseline right. Thielen. The inbound. Excuse me, now they'll have Armour inbound. Armour. Looking to his right, now gets it off to Thielen. Thielen. Over to Ryan. Ryan, top of the key. Ryan over on the far wing, hands off to Armour. Armour trying to come down the paint. And it's sent over, up and in by Drew Atkins. Drew Atkins with 9 points. Pioneer quickly the other direction. Seinfeld Chop with a long shot, but would not go in. And at the end of the first half, it is 24-35. Bedford with the 11-point lead. We'll step away and play a few messages from the MHSAA. You are watching Pioneer Men's JV Basketball, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the Specialized Sports Parent Support Group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform, why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the Health and Safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Power Ratings will be used this year in soccer, basketball, and boys lacrosse to seed the district tournament in those sports, and you can follow along. Visit your school's page on the MHSAA website to see how your team is faring, and you can look at statewide lists as well. And if you see your team is missing a score, submit it. Learn more about the Michigan Power Rankings at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we are live here at Pioneer High School, where it is your Pioneer JV men's basketball team down by 11, 35-24 to the Bedford Kicking Mules. So we head into the third quarter here at Pioneer High School. Appreciate you joining us and watching, whichever of these teams you are rooting for. We're very grateful for you joining us today. 8 minutes up on the clock. Pioneer will inbound. Inbounded to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop. Over midfield, Seinfeld Chop. Coming down the far wing is Page. Page moves it all the way over to Dunlop. Dunlop gets it onto the far elbow to Hayes. Now Seinfeld Chop underneath the Page. Page in the paint. That pulled down off of the rim by Billick. Here comes the other direction. There's going to be a foul as Bedford. Armour was taking it the other way. Page picks up a foul. That is his second foul. First foul on Pioneer this quarter. 7:37 left to go. Bedford up 35-24. Steeled inbound on the far sideline between the scorers bench and the Pioneers bench. Coach DeWolf over there. Looking on. Yeah, they will have the inbound. Steele gets it into Armour. Armour on the far side of the court. Armour working his way over midcourt. Armour over onto the near wing. Armour as Page trying tight coverage. That ball over to Varner as that is going to be a foul. Page picks up another foul. That's going to be his third foul. So Varner to inbound on the near sideline for Bedford. Varner gets it. Now back to Armour on the near wing. Armour has Dunlop on him. Gets a screen. Armour into the far corner. Picked up his dribble. Looking for help. Gets that over to Shanto. Shanto over to the top of the key. Back to Armour on the near wing. Armour dribbles to his right at the near elbow. Armour steps back. Fires it off. Hits it and a whistle. Armour has 12 points.
Foul is on number 35. Will Wood.
So that's going to be Wood. Picks up the foul. He has 3 points. Armour to the line. First shot is up and good for Armour as he makes it a three-point play. 13 points for Armour. Pioneer the other direction. Dunlop has it top of the key. Dunlop steps back. Gets a screen from Hayes. Dunlop over onto the far wing. Dunlop moves it to Hayes, top of the key. Hayes working against Shanto over on the near wing to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop trying to get around Ryan into the paint. Puts up a floater off the front of the rim. And pulled down by Ryan. Bedford goes the other direction. Here comes Armour. Armour coming down the far wing. Full court pressure. That ahead to Steele. Steele top of the key into the paint. Puts it up off and finger rolls in. Steele now has 5 points as it's 40-24 with 6:26 left to go. Wood back over to Seinfeld Chop. Top of the key. Seinfeld Chop over onto the near wing. As that's Hayes with it. Gets it into the paint for Dunlop. Dunlop puts it up. Rolls off the far rim. And picked up by Varner. Varner the other direction for Bedford. Varner underneath trying to get to Billick. Billick rolls in the paint. That's knocked away. He goes down and talking about who picks up this foul. Seinfeld Chop couldn't believe it.
Foul is on number 35.
That's going to be Wood who picks up the foul. It's the second foul on Wood. That puts Billick to the line. As it's a 16-point lead, Billick has the opportunity to make an 18-point lead. Billick, first one is up off the front of the rim, no good. He has one more coming. Smith comes in for Pioneer, replacing Wood. Billick gets the ball. One more shot coming with 6:04 left to go here in the third. Billick bends the knees, eyes the rim, puts it up, and puts it in. Billick has 5 points, and it's 41-24. Bedford with the lead. Seinfeld Chop for Pioneer in the front court. So he comes top of the key. Seinfeld Chop gets it over to Smith. Smith on the near wing, over to Hayes on the near wing. Hayes comes, free throw line, now into the near corner for Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop to the free throw line. Back over to Hayes on the near wing. Hayes for a three. And rims out. Picked up there by Billick for Bedford. Billick moves it over to Steele. Steele, top of the key. Heads over onto the far wing. Back over to Armour. Armour has it as he's right at the blockades. Armour over onto the far wing. And move for Varner. Varner trying to make his way. Three-pointer for Varner. Hits off the front of the rim, off the glass. Trying to pull it down. There's a foul underneath. And it's going to be the second on Smith.
Parker Smith.
So they are shooting as that's the 5th foul in the quarter. 5 on Pioneer, none on Bedford thus far this quarter. Billick to the line shooting 2, trying to get to a 43-point lead. He can make it a 19-point lead if he hits both. Billick eyes the rim, puts it up, rattles off the front of the rim again and falls away. One more coming for Billick, trying to make it now a 42-point score for Bedford. Billick puts that ball up off the back of the rim, pulled down by Page. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. Page over midcourt. It's 41-24. Bedford with the lead as Page is fouled by Billick, trying to cut towards the basket. And it is going to be Billick's 3rd foul. First foul on Bedford this quarter. Varner goes out. Birmingham comes in. Also, Steele goes out as Chase Atkins comes in. Hayes the inbound, gets it over Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop on the near wing. And back over to Dunlop. Dunlop for a 3 off the side of the rim. And picked up by Shanto, heading the other direction. Here comes Armour. Armour for Bedford on the far side. Armour gets it over to Birmingham underneath. Shanto puts it up, wouldn't go. That is going to stay. Bedford ball out of bounds off of Pioneer with 4:45 left to go here in the 3rd. Varner to inbound, baseline left. Varner gets it over onto the far wing. And sent to Armour. Armour with the 3-pointer. And picked up, wouldn't go. Grabbed is coming ahead with it. Here comes Seinfeld Chop down the near side of the paint. Put up off glass and in. Seinfeld Chop with 4 points, and it's 41-26. 15-point lead for Bedford. They have the ball. Armour in the backcourt. Trying to work against Page. Coming down the far side of the court. That over to Varner. Varner down the paint. Bounce pass over to Birmingham. Birmingham puts it up off the back of the rim. That's grabbed and put up and in. So Shanto gets it. He has 7 points. Quickly the other direction. Hayes puts it up and in. Hayes has 10 points. He's the first Pioneer in double digits. 43-28. Here comes Shanto. Blocked by, that was blocked by Smith, but a whistle blown. Smith picks up the foul. That is going to be his 3rd foul. That is going to put Shanto to the line, shooting 2. 15-point lead, trying to make it 17-point lead. Shanto eyes the rim, puts it up, rims all the way around and falls off the front. No good, one more coming. Kasenich comes in for Pioneer, replacing Smith. Here comes Shanto's 2nd shot from the line. Up, off the front of the rim. Armour trying to pull it down. Bedford with the rebound. Varner into the paint. Kicks it back to Birmingham. Birmingham down the near side of the paint. Back to Varner, top of the key. Over on the far wing. That for Drew Atkins. Drew Atkins into the paint. And spins off the rim. Trying to pull it down. Here comes Page the other direction for Pioneer. Over midcourt. Page down to Dunlop. Dunlop puts it up and off the underside of the rim. Quickly the other direction. Here comes Varner. Varner floats it underneath for Armour. Armour puts it up off the rim and in. Armour has 15 points and it's 45-28. Pioneer wants to take a timeout. We'll play a little push on and we will be right back here.
health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As coming out of the timeout here at Pioneer High School, it is the JV men's basketball contest between Bedford and Pioneer. Bedford has a 45-28 lead on Pioneer, so 17-point lead. Ball inbounded by Pioneer. Seinfeld chop. Comes down the far side of the court, over midcourt. Over to Hayes on the far wing. Hayes over to Dunlop into the paint. That rolls out. That is going to be Bedford's ball. Varner has it. Now the officials want to talk it over. The Pioneer fans upset. They thought it went off of a Bedford player. So the officials will confab there, and it's going to be Bedford's ball as Varner will inbound baseline right. Pioneer with some full court pressure. Varner skies it over. That grab by Shanto. Shanto quickly ahead as Drew Atkins underneath the Birmingham. Birmingham up and in. Birmingham has 6 points. That makes it 47-28. Pioneer brings it the other direction with 2:53 left to go. Seinfeld chop trying to dish it underneath. That stolen away. Here comes Varner the other direction for Bedford. Varner over midcourt. Varner over on the near wing. Into the near corner. That sent up by Drew Atkins. A little strong off the glass on the far side and out of bounds. That will be Pioneer's ball with 2:37 left to go here in the third. Page inbounds. Dunlop bringing it down the far sideline. That ahead over to Seinfeld chop. That put up, falls off the rim to the near side. Pioneer steals it away. Dunlop over in the far corner. Dunlop calling out signals right in front of his own bench. Gets that over to Seinfeld chop just off the top to keep back to Dunlop. Up the paint off the front of the rim, but a foul. Basket no good, but that is going to be Shanto. So Shanto picks up the foul. Dunlop to the line. Second foul on Bedford. First shot up for Dunlop and good. Dunlop has 6 points. Trying to make it 7. 18-point lead for Bedford. Dunlop can get down to a 17-point lead. That up off the back of the rim. Pulled down by Drew Atkins. Out of bounds, but that's going to stay Bedford ball. Drew Atkins now calling someone else to take the ball out. Now he'll go out the far sideline or the baseline right. Gets it over to Armour. Armour double teamed. Armour works through the double team. Now over onto the far wing. And pulled ahead for Ryan. Up off the front of the rim. Page trying to pull it down. That is going to be a jump ball, possession arrow. That is going to be Bedford ball. As Ryan will inbound baseline left. Ryan looks to his left. Now gets that over to Shanto. Shanto that away and out the near sideline. It's going to stay Bedford ball. Tipped away by Pioneer. Drew Atkins on the near sideline. Drew Atkins. Bounce pass. Grab by Shanto. Shanto puts it up off the glass and in. Shanto with 7 points, and now it's 49-29. Bedford with the lead with 1:48 left to go in the third. Quickly to the rim is Dunlop. And it's going to be out of bounds. I think Dunlop was hoping for a foul. 1:45 left to go. Dunlop inbounds baseline right. That ball over to Page. Now over on the far wing to Dunlop, and that is going to be a offensive foul on Pioneer.
Race foul number 4.
So what was that? Seinfeld chop, I think he said was foul. That would be Seinfeld chop picking up that foul. That would be his 4th. 1:41 left to go. Here in the third, that inbounded is now Chase Atkins gets it ahead to Drew Atkins. Drew Atkins puts up an off-balance shot. That falls off the side of the rim. Good job by Scott. Now quickly ahead to Dunlop. Dunlop over to Page. Page down the near side of the paint. Page puts it up off the near side of the rim. Wouldn't go. A foul.
Fouls on number 14, Chase Atkins.
So that's going to be Chase Atkins with his first foul.
Outbound ball to Pioneer.
Third foul on Bedford this quarter. Pioneer will inbound. Baseline right.
3, Paris Page.
No, excuse me, that's going to be a shooting foul. So Page to the line. So Page ready to shoot 2. Bends the knees, puts it up. Off the back of the rim, off the back of the rim a second time, falls off the near side, wouldn't go. One more coming for Page, trying to get it back to a 19-point lead for Bedford. With 1:27 left to go here in the third. Page dribbles, eyes the rim, puts it up, puts it in. Page with 4 points, and it's 49-30. Bedford with the ball. Armour quickly ahead, is underneath, trying to get it to Drew Atkins. That knocked out of bounds by Pioneer. 1:21 left to go here in the third. Chase Atkins inbound, baseline left. So Bedford to inbound. Chase Atkins looking for a place to go with it. As that tipped away, is coming the other direction. Here comes Page, puts it up and in. Page with 6 points, and it's 49-32. Foul on by Page. That is going to be his 4th foul.
Foul is on number 3.
So both he and Seinfeld Chop both have 4 fouls. Looking to come in for Pioneer is Pollock as well as Rivera.
Number 5, Nate Birmingham.
So Birmingham to the line. First shot is up off the near side of the rim. No good. Birmingham will have another shot at it. 49-32. Try and make it a 18-point lead for Bedford. Birmingham, second shot up. That wouldn't go off the front, the back of the rim. Pulled down by Scott coming the other direction. Here comes Pioneer. Page underneath as that's off the rim. Rivera had it, trying to move it back over. There is a whistle. 1:03 left to go here in the third.
Foul is on number 1.
That is going to be Nako. So Nako picks up his first foul. It is the 4th foul for Bedford in the period. One more, that'll put Pioneer to the stripe, shooting 2 and 2. Page will inbound, baseline right. Birmingham watching him. 1:03 left to go here in the third. That ball back over to Scott. Scott moves it over to Pollock. And working around, Page has it. Page switches positions with Scott. Page now over to Pollock on the far wing. Pollock into the far corner. Pollock spins out of it, gets it to Rivera. Rivera over on the near wing for Page. Page trying to make it into the paint, puts it up off glass. And a little too strong, pulled down by Kucinich. But a whistle beforehand.
Foul is on number 1, Steph Nako.
So Nako picks up his 2nd foul. That is the 5th foul, so that's going to put Rivera to the line.
Evan Rivera.
So Rivera puts up his first shot off the back of the rim, off the front of the rim, falls off to the near side, wouldn't go. 36.3 seconds left here in the third. Rivera, second opportunity from the line. Up a little too strong. Rivera gets the rebound. Rivera underneath in the paint. as that's stolen away by Bedford. Quickly the other direction. Up. Again, that's a little too hard for NACO. And Pioneer grabs the ball, heads the other direction. Page has it in the backcourt. Page makes it over midcourt. Page comes down onto the far wing, into the paint. Ball loose. Picked up back there by Chase Atkins. Chase Atkins moves ahead to NACO. NACO underneath. That put up and in by Ryan. Ryan with his first points of the game. He has two. And it's 51-32. Rivera quickly puts it up, and that just short. So at the end of the third, it is Pioneer 32 and Bedford 51 as we head into the fourth. Let's play a little push shot, and we'll be right back for your fourth quarter action.
Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Hey.
Health concerns in high school.
So Pioneer has the ball. They will inbound as Pollock has it right in front of us. Pollock for Pioneer, inbounds it. Now bringing it ahead over there, Scott. Scott down into the paint. That ball dished off to Kucinich, and that knocked away. Here comes Armour, the other direction for Bedford. Armour into the near corner. Now back to Armour. Armour works his way down the baseline, puts up a floater off the back of the rim. That put up by Varner, wouldn't go. Saved. Armour sends it back over to Thielen. Thielen down the far side of the paint. Over into the far corner for Billick. Now working his way, Harmon has it. Back into the paint, and put up by Thielen, and there is a whistle. 7:24 left to go here in the fourth. First foul on Pioneer this quarter.
Pioneer fouls number 3, Garrett Sage. Armour at the line.
So Page picks up the foul, and I must be off on fouls because I had that as his fifth foul. Now he's coming off. That might have been actually right. Seinfeld chop coming in. So Dunlop ready to check in. Kucinich out, Dunlop in. So 7:24 left to go here in the third. 51-23. Armour to the line, ready to shoot two. He can make it a 21-point lead if he hits both. He has a game-high 15 points. Make that 16 points as he hits the first. One more coming. Armour gets the ball for his second free throw of the pair. That up and in. Armour with 17 points as it's 53-32. Bedford with the lead. Seinfeld chop brings the ball ahead for Pioneer. Trying to dish it off to Dunlop, and that just off of his fingertips out of bounds. That is going to be Bedford's ball as Thielen has it. He'll inbound baseline right. Thielen over to Armour. Armour coming down the far side of the court. Gets it over to Varner. Varner top of the key into the near corner. Thielen with it. Thielen picks up the dribble. Back to Varner. Varner trying to dish it off. That's stolen away by Pioneer. Head to Dunlop. Dunlop puts it up. Finger roll up and in. Dunlop has 8 points. And it's 53-34. Quickly to Thielen. Bedford has it with the lead. Armour now gets it back. Armour, that's stolen away. Ahead to Dunlop. Dunlop up with the right finger roll for Pioneer. He has 10 points, and that makes it 53-36. So Bedford wants to talk things over. They have a good lead, as they have a 17-point lead, but they don't want to let Pioneer get any momentum. We will have the varsity contest right up after this. It is Pioneer, who is 2-1 on the season, versus Bedford, who is 2-3 on the season. Coach Ahrens is going to be a color commentator for us again this season. He's in the building. We appreciate that. Andy Spencer will help us out with stats coming up in this next game. Here with 6:34 left to go here in the fourth. Inbounded to Varner. Bedford has it in their backcourt. And fired ahead, loose, picked up. Dunlop puts it up and in. Dunlop with 12 points, as that is 53-38. Bedford quickly the other direction. Armour puts it up off the back of the rim. Pulled down. Here comes Pioneer. Quickly ahead to Dunlop again. Dunlop with the finger roll up and in. Dunlop now has 14 points for Pioneer. 53-40. 13-point lead for Bedford. Pioneer tried to chip away. Armour brings it ahead over to Varner. Varner in the front court. Right to the free throw line. Puts it underneath. That put up and in by Billick. So Billick has 9 points, and it's 55-40. Ahead, that up to Rivera. Rivera quickly up and in for Pioneer. That's Rivera's first points, and it's 55-42 with 5:46 left to go. Bedford in the backcourt brings it ahead. Armour gets it ahead over to Thielen. Thielen underneath. That put up high off the glass, wouldn't go. But the Bedford player hits the deck. That's Billick, and Billick will go to the line. He'll shoot 2. Second foul on Pioneer this quarter, none thus far on Bedford. So Billick to the line. He'll put up the first one. Off the front of the rim, wouldn't go. Both Scott and Hayes back in for Pioneer. Pollock and Rivera go out. Billick has one more from the pair of free throws coming. Trying to make it a 56-point game for Bedford thus far. That up off the front of the rim, wouldn't go. Billick gets his own rebound. Sends that back to Birmingham for 3. Birmingham hits the three-pointer, as that is 9 points for Birmingham. Pioneer quickly ahead 58-42, as Hayes hands it at the free throw line. Sends it back to Dunlop. Top of the key, now steps back. Dunlop. Varner watching him. Gets a screen. Dunlop coming down the far side of the paint. That's blocked underneath, out of bounds. That's going to stay Pioneer ball with 5:10 left to go here in the fourth.
Ball goes out of bounds to Pioneer.
That will be Dunlop to inbound, baseline right. 5:10 left to go. Dunlop. Bounce pass underneath. That put up. Wouldn't go for Seinfeld chop. Bounced, and now coming up the other direction. Here comes Bedford ahead to Armour. Armour on the far sideline, trying to get it over to Varner. Picked up by Birmingham. Underneath, as that was blocked away. Shanto had it. Quickly had to Dunlop. Dunlop. He's wouldn't go off the glass, but he's bumped underneath. That is going to be a foul.
Foul is on number 21, Dylan Chanteau.
Chanteau picks up his 4th foul of the game.
He has 22. Isaiah Armour.
So Dunlop puts up the first free throw up and in. He leads all Pioneer players as he has 15 points. Second shot of the pair coming, that up and in. Dunlop with 16 points, and it's 58-44. 14-point lead for Bedford. Full court pressure for Pioneer. Birmingham trying to bring it ahead. Gets it up to Varner. Varner for Bedford. Down the far side. Trying to get it over to Armour. Armour with the three-pointer. That rims out. And out of bounds, that's going to stay Bedford ball with 4:35 left to go. 58-44, Bedford will inbound baseline left.
Ball goes out of bounds to the kicking field.
So Varner will inbound baseline left as they have the 14-point lead. Varner now working his way around. Drew Atkins with it. Drew Atkins over onto the far wing for Varner. Varner gets it over to Shanto. Shanto, top of the key. Pressure coming. Shanto over to Varner on the far wing. Varner trying to get it underneath. That knocked away. Here comes Seinfeld Chop. He's fouled from behind. That is going to be the second foul on Bedford in this quarter. That is going to be a, he'll take it out of bounds.
Fouls on number 21. Dylan Shanto.
So Wood will inbound just to the left of Coach DeWolf. Gets it over to Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop has it at the block A's. Over to Dunlop on the near wing. Dunlop puts up a three-pointer. Off the back of the rim. Wouldn't go. Pulled down by Billick for Bedford. Here comes Birmingham in the backcourt. Seinfeld Chop trying to watch him. Just under 4 minutes left to go. Birmingham just over midcourt. Birmingham at the block A's. Birmingham bounce pass. Gets that over to Shanto. Shanto, that is going to be a travel as he just ended up slipping. He caught that with a bit of a kind of off balance. Here comes Pioneer. Seinfeld Chop. Over to Hayes. Hayes into the paint. Hayes up off the glass and in. Hayes now has 12 points, and it's 58-46. 12-point game as that's a foul in the backcourt on Drew Atkins. That is going to be the third foul on Pioneer this quarter.
Fouls on number 35 for the Pioneers.
That's going to be Wood with his third foul. So Varner will inbound on the far sideline, just between the scorer's bench and the Pioneer bench. Scott coming back in for Pioneer.
Ball to Bedford.
I appreciate Andy Spencer not only here to watch his son for the freshman game, but staying through the JV game to help us out with varsity. We appreciate that greatly. That ball inbounded to Birmingham. Birmingham into the paint underneath the Shanto. As Pioneer got a piece of it, but Shanto put it in. He has 9 points. And it's 60-56. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. Seinfeld Chop floats it underneath. That put up by Scott off the far rim wouldn't go. Pulled down by Varner. Here comes. That is going to be a foul. Varner. He gets helped up by Birmingham. That is going to be the fourth foul on Pioneer.
Fouls on number 4. Gave Seinfeld Chop.
So Seinfeld Chop, that is going to be one of those other ones must have gone against him. I had 5 for him, but that's not official, obviously. That's my own tallies here. Okay, I was right. It is Seinfeld Chop.
Ball to Bedford.
Okay, maybe he doesn't. Ball inbounded to Birmingham. Birmingham has it just inside of midcourt. Birmingham double team. As that tipped away and out of bounds. Hayes tried to jump the pass, but couldn't keep it in bounds. That's going to go. Varner will inbound on the near sideline. Varner over to Birmingham. Birmingham again quickly double team. Birmingham trying to get it as that's pulled down by Pioneer. Quickly ahead to Hayes. Hayes trying to get Dunlop, and that out of bounds. Last off of Drew Atkins. 2:55 left to go here in the fourth. 14-point lead for Bedford. Pioneer to inbound, baseline right. Seinfeld Chop gets it over to Dunlop, back over to Hayes on the near side of the paint. Hayes takes a dribble, puts it up off the back of the rim, a little too strong. Varner has it. Varner in the backcourt for Bedford, gets it ahead to Drew Atkins. Drew Atkins Gets it over to Billick underneath, trying to get it over as that's put up by Shanto. Shanto now has 11 points. He's in double digits. 62-56. Hayes gets it over to Dunlop for Pioneer. Pioneer in the front court. Dunlop on the near sideline. Dunlop trying to shake himself free into the near corner. Making a move is Hayes for three, and he hits it. Hayes now has 15 points. He's second only to Dunlop. And there's a timeout called as Pioneer gets it down to a 13-point game, 62-49. We'll play a little push on and be right back with the remaining 2:15. .2:15 left to go here in the fourth, 62-49. Bedford with the lead. Bedford will inbound baseline right. Varner to inbound.
Ball to the Kicking Mules.
Varner running the baseline, gets it into Armour, back to Varner. And stepping on the line, that will be Pioneer ball. They have an opportunity with a three-pointer to get it to a 10-point game with 2:13 left to go. Dunlop to inbound, baseline right. There's some wetness over right in front of the Pioneer bench. Never have seen one of those high schools with one of the kind of the Swiffer wipes that they have at the pros, but that's okay. Must be a little pricier than I think they are. Dunlop to inbound, gets it to Hayes in the near corner. That flipped over to Smith, back to Dunlop. Dunlop on the near sideline. Approaching the 2-minute mark, Dunlop puts up a three-pointer. Off the front of the rim, off the glass, wouldn't go. Armour with the rebound for Bedford. Schweinfeld Shop trying to provide pressure. That ahead to Birmingham, not quite over. That's going to be a travel Pioneer ball with 1:50 left to go. Bedford still with a 13-point lead. Dunlop to inbound on the far sideline. Gets it into Seinfeld Chop. Seinfeld Chop, top of the key. Over to Smith on the far wing. Smith back to Seinfeld Chop. Armour watching him. Seinfeld Chop dribbles to his right, trying to come down. Spins into the paint. Dishes off to Dunlop. Dunlop for three. Dunlop hits the three-pointer. He has 19, and it's a 10-point game, 62-52. Bedford has it quickly ahead to Varner over midcourt. Varner down the far side of the paint. Underneath the Birmingham. Now trying to work his way. That put up and in by Shanto. Shanto now has 13 points. As coming in, Seinfeld Chop trying to get it over to Dunlop. The officials are going to talk about it. Initial indication was Bedford, but Pioneer thought it went the other direction. 1:10 left to go. It is going to be Pioneer ball. They will be inbounding baseline right, just underneath their own basket. Popped up high over to Hayes on the near wing. Hayes gets it. That's Pollock for three. Off the glass. Wouldn't go off the front of the rim. Armour with the rebound, bringing it ahead. Under a minute left to go. As bounce pass underneath, trying to get to Billick from Shanto. That goes out of bounds with 56.1 seconds left to go. That's going to stay Bedford ball as Varner to inbound, baseline left. Varner gets it underneath the Billick, handing it off to Shanto. Wouldn't go. Pioneer with the ball. 50 seconds left to go. Trying to get it back to single digits. That's put up by Dunlop. Off the front of the rim. Wouldn't go. Rebound by Billick. Quickly up to Shanto. Stolen away by Smith. Gets it over to Pollock. Pollock for three. That off the rim, off to the near side. Armour with the rebound. 33 seconds left. No shot clock. And Michigan high school basketball, so they don't have to shoot. They do. That'll be a foul on Smith. That is going to be Smith's fourth foul. And that's going to put Shanto to the line as he'll shoot 2 with 26.8 seconds left to go.
Shooting at the line, Dylan Shanto.
Shanto trying to stretch it out to a 14-point lead if he hits both. First shot is up and good for Shanto. He now has 14 points. Next one, that's up and good by Shanto, so he has 15 points. 66-52, 24 seconds left. Hayes brings ahead for Pioneer. Hayes on the near wing. Hayes dribbles to his left. Hayes puts up a long two-pointer. That falls off, a little too strong off the back of the rim. Now 10 seconds left. Quickly ahead to Shanto. Shanto will hold on to it. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that will do it. Final score in the JV contest, 66-52. We will be right back with the varsity contest as you're watching Pioneer Men's JV Basketball. We'll be back with varsity next.